Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you on this August 14th, 2025. I have all of your stories for your rush hour ride to work, and they will all revolve around Taylor Swift. I can't properly illustrate to you guys the cultural moment from what happened last night. Taylor Swift did her first podcast ever. What a wild time to be alive, where you can literally do a podcast, a self-produced long-form interview, and the whole world gets the chance to see it. As I'm recording this, it has over 6 million views and counting. So many gems. Of course, we're going to discuss the shade thrown at former friend Blake Lively. She does it in the sort of way where you have to sort of dig for the Easter egg, which is the smear, because she doesn't like to lay it all out there for you. You got to do a little work. As I've said before, Taylor Swift is QAnon for white women, but in a good way. I mean, there's no harm there, right? And it's fascinating. So I'm going to walk you through this. If you don't know much about the relationship, it's really, I mean, this is our royal family. I hate to say it, this is it. I'm a New England Patriots fan. I wish the Kelce brothers played in New England. Of course, Jason Kelce is the older brother. He's retired, played for the Eagles, went to University of Cincinnati, where my wife went. I'm like, did you guys date? I'd love to know. Please just cross my fingers. And then you've got Travis Kelce, the younger brother, who shot his shot with the biggest pop star of all time. This is better than any Hallmark movie you can make, and it's bringing together generations of moms and daughters and dads and daughters and sons and everybody else. So we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to play several different clips for you. Again, we're going to talk about the album release. I'll show you the moment that happened, my reaction to it. But like I said, what a wild time to be alive. Will this become the most watched podcast episode ever from any show? I mean, I'm jealous right now to be doing these numbers. It'd be absolutely insane. And why is it the cultural phenomenon that is Taylor Swift that makes everything she touched turn to gold, or in this case, turn to oranges? I don't know. That's the new color, I guess. Well, we'll get into that in a second, but I wanted to show how it all started. ESPN posted this TikTok. The top half will be Travis Kelce complaining to his brother, Jason Kelce, because he went to the Eras concert, when it was at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, which is where, he's a star tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs. You would think that's a very big deal. He thought he could just walk in to the backstage area and get a chance to meet Taylor Swift. How naive of him. He's a local celebrity. How naive of him. It's like, I know the elevator lady. They'll just pipe me in, floor L7, and they'll ship me right up and I'll be able to propose to her. Well, that's not how it went. So this is how it started, and then we'll get to where we are now. Have a listen. Again, this is before Travis Kelce ever met Taylor Swift. He was upset, his words, that he wasn't able to share with her his friendship bracelet.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I know you went to the Taylor Swift concert. How was it?
Yeah, well, I was disappointed that she doesn't talk before or after her shows because she has to save her voice for the 44 songs that she sings. So I was a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her.
You made her a bracelet?
Yeah. If you're up on Taylor Swift concerts, there are friendship bracelets, and I received a bunch of them being there, but I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it. Not right now.
Your number's in 87 or your phone number?
You know which one. She doesn't meet anybody, or at least she didn't want to meet me, so I took it personal.
She probably just hasn't gotten over the Super Bowl yet. She's a big Eagles fan. Maybe she just made something up and just didn't want to talk to you.
Damn it.
Hey, welcome to New Heights.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on my favorite podcast.
So now she goes from not even knowing this guy to having him be her favorite podcaster. Let me tell you something. The fact that Taylor Swift listens to Travis Kelce's podcast means they're still new into the relationship. My wife doesn't listen to my podcast. The way it works is I do the podcast for you guys. Then later on in the day, I go on a walk with my wife and I give her all the highlights. So I have to do the podcast twice. I should just play the podcast for her. Either way, let's get into it. So here is, okay, so you got this set up. It started with them, he basically called out on his podcast saying, I didn't get to meet her. That went viral, which again got into the right hands, Taylor's. And then finally they rendezvoused 2 years later. She's doing her first episode.
And I was sitting there at the Eras Tour listening to every single one of those songs like I know what she wants me to do.
I feel that. That's
exactly what she wants me to do.
She's like, this is just her wish list of like,
meet me, please. Now I'm butthurt.
yeah. I'm upset that you didn't meet me, even though you didn't know I wanted to meet you because I didn't do any proper logistical planning.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's like, you realize I have like 17 private jets that fly my whole team around. You don't just get to show up and meet me. Like, do you know who I am? I mean, Taylor Swift is probably one of the most famous people in the world. And listen, she'll generate hate. You know, Candace Owens was like, oh, Taylor Swift's a mean girl. I'm telling you what, watch the 2-hour episode and tell me that's not the most level-headed ultra celebrity you've ever met. All right, so we're going to get into it. Here's the first date clip. Again, stay tuned. We'll share the Blake Lively shade, but we're going to do a full recap right now. So here's the first date clip. Have a listen to this.
For any of my bad stuff?
Are you kidding me?
Jason, on our first date, I legitimately asked him what it was like when the Chiefs played the Eagles in the Super Bowl and he looked across the field, across the line of scrimmage and saw his brother standing on the other, like 5 feet in front of him on the field.
Yeah.
And he was like, he didn't even look at me. Like, I now know what an insane question that was. He was like, actually, I'm on the offense. And my brother's on the offense, and I'm only on the field at the same time as the defense. I thought everyone was out there at the same time. I thought that the quarterbacks.
I mean, that's how you played it on the.
So Taylor Swift thinks that everyone's just out on the field, you know, and I love theater arts people. I love it. Look, listen, I played football in high school. I dabbled in the world. I was in band, right? So band is theater arts adjacent. They don't always mix, right? They've got different, you know, the band, they're there for the halftime show. The theater arts, they want the halftime show. And then the football, you know, so it's not a world that meshes too often. So to see opposites attracting like this, they get into numerology. His number's 87, her number's 13. Add it up, they're keeping it 100. So again, we go on and on. I'm going to share some more clips. Actually, it got sentimental real quick as Taylor Swift talked about her masters. Again, those being the first 6 albums she never owned. She finally had the chance to buy them back. She didn't think it was a possibility because, you know, who wants to sell them? They're worth a lot of money. So this is the moment Taylor Swift found out she was going to be able to buy her masters back this year, and she shares. You can see her get choked up just 16 minutes in, and she shares how emotional it was, you know, because this represented the culmination of her work, not just the music, but the music videos, the artwork, the photography, and everything that went with it. It was a pretty emotional moment.
And so I was like, I get it. I haven't gotten my hopes up about this in a decade. And so it was a couple months after the Super Bowl. We're in Kansas City. And I get a call from my mom, and she's like, and
by the way, you can see Travis Kelce just grinning here because he knows she's getting emotional. And they really feed well off of each other. I hope he doesn't fumble this. No pun intended.
You got your music, yeah. And so sorry that it's literally been so long since this happened. It's every time I talk about it. She was like, you got your music, and I just like very dramatically hit the floor for real. Like, honestly, just started.
It's been a long time.
And then, of course, Travis cries with her. When your lady cries, you got to cry with your lady. Men, I'm telling you right now, if you're not crying with your lady, you got to go get therapy. Share those emotions. Let it out. Come on. Who cares? No one's judging you. Real men cry. I'm crying watching this. I'm happy. Be happy for people. So we'll get into more. They talk about how it's a John Hughes movie. You know, it really is. This is like a modern day John Hughes movie. In what world could you have a guy, the star football player, tries to get his friendship bracelet, doesn't work, and, you know, to the pop star? I mean, you know, it's just unbelievable stuff. So here's the moment where Taylor Swift explains, you know, when she met Jason Kelce. So remember, Jason Kelce, the older brother of Travis, he's retired. He's a lineman. These linemen, they're mongrels. These guys are just absolute. They're dripping beers and bongs and chugging this and that. So here is the moment where Taylor Swift shares that he jumped through the window and started trying to hand children to Taylor Swift. You remember this at the football game, shirtless. He just finds, because these girls, everyone's looking up to Taylor Swift like she's the goddess of the place, and she is. Give her some respect. So he just starts picking up children to say, look at her. I mean,
you flew through the window at light speed. I've never seen someone so big move so fast.
It's impressive.
It's like, when you see a cricket and it's here.
Yeah.
And then it's gone, and it's 16 feet that way. You're like, did it just jump up that way? How did it do that?
And he gets more athletic the more
beers. I mean, it's real.
It was wild.
I really should have played in the NFL drunk. I think it would have been better.
Nobody
you know what? At this point, I would never argue with that. And all of a sudden, like, you're out there in the snow, you're handing me children through the window. Like,
I was trying to. That
it's
was
fully
not my best moment.
It was. And like, I think it actually was. And I'm
She's
really
like,
grateful.
Taylor. I was like, you want to see Taylor? I got you. Let's go.
We're going in.
Whose kid is that, Jason?
Don't
Do
know.
you know where this kid came from? But yeah, it was. I think it was your best moment, and I think I'm very lucky to have gotten to see it.
I gotta tell you, the intellect of Taylor Swift. I mean, don't sleep on her. She's funny. She's telling some extremely unrelatably funny stories, as in she's so famous. I mean, it's hard to even to not want to despise her, and yet I think, and again, maybe people disagree, I think she pulls it off quite easily. Here's Patrick Mahomes again, several weeks before the start of the football season. So they have press conferences. Star quarterback and friend of Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, describes finding out beforehand that this podcast was going down.
Me too. I mean, I knew before y'all did, just because like they called me after the podcast was done. They didn't call me; they called Brittany, and then I was like in the back of the FaceTime. But I knew that I'm obviously super excited. I mean, just knowing Taylor and seeing the process from just a little bit closer of how she makes the albums, it's going to be amazing because how much work she puts into it, and what better place to announce it than the New Heights podcast, where I feel like she can be herself and showcase who she is. And I think people are going to be really excited to watch it tonight. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a little bit of the clips, just like everybody else, but I'll be tuned in tonight at I think it's 7 Eastern.
Look at that, must-watch TV. Could you imagine this? It's a YouTube video. It's a podcast. This was huge. The biggest podcast I ever watched before this was when Rachel Kirkconnell did Call Her Daddy, and there was 50,000 people watching live. The most people to ever watch my show live was probably when we had a couple of times where we probably got into the 1300s at one time. Last night's episode had 1.3 million people watching live, which is 15 times larger than any stadium size that Taylor Swift has ever performed at. Just unbelievable stuff. All right, let's do this. I'm going to share the Blake Lively stuff and other conspiracies that are based around the Taylor Swift nonsense, because there is some shade being thrown after a quick word from our sponsor. Today's podcast is sponsored by Rula. Telehealth has made mental health care more convenient and accessible for millions of people. Rula is on a mission to make high-quality mental health care from a licensed professional easy and affordable for everyone. And Rula's got you covered. They take most major insurance plans, and the average copay is only $15 per session. You can now get the quality care you need at a price you can afford. Rula partners with a network of over 15,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, enabling you to find your personalized solution and the right therapist for you based on your needs, preferences, and state requirements. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey towards improved mental health and overall well-being. Head on over to Rula.com/rushhour to get started today. After you sign up, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them our show sent you. Go to RULA.com/rushhour and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares. Okay, before we get to the conspiracies of the Taylor Swift podcast and the shade thrown at Blake Lively, here's Andy Reid. He's one of the most successful coaches of all time, and he's obviously the coach of Travis Kelce, but he also is good friends with Taylor Swift's dad, separate of this. I know, small world. They're all Illuminati. Either way, here's what he had to say. He's very sweet. You know, as you get older, these old guys have some sweet moments here. This hard-hitting, gridiron coach offering some nice words about finding love.
No, but listen. I'm like really old, Nate. My grandkids will be all over it.
He was asked if he's going to be watching the podcast.
So I'm happy for them. Both of them, like each other, and that's what a plus that is. They care about each other, and that's I think that's the most important thing. The older you get, you want these guys to have somebody they can settle down with and that whole deal. And so, I think it's a neat deal for them.
There it is. You just, money, it doesn't buy happiness. It buys opportunity, and it can buy time. It can get you a nice jet. But if you don't have someone to sit in that jet with and enjoy life with, that's really the end game, right? All right, here's Billy Bush. He comes up with an I don't think he made this observation. It was floating around the internet, but he shares what might be a jab at Kanye West. Have a listen.
Her album is called The Life of a Showgirl. And because it says the life of a, if you believe Taylor Swift doesn't do anything by accident, it comes up ahead of Kanye West. Her nemesis, Life of Pablo, Life of a Showgirl comes up beforehand. So she's just sitting on top of him again.
There it is. So Taylor Swift working on her search engine optimization. Hey, why not? Why not? He ruined her. Remember when she won that award and he ruined it, and then he called her a bitch or whatever on one of his lyrics. Well, Kanye, you're a unique artist, to say the least. You got your set of problems, but it looks like Taylor Swift won out in the end. Okay, listen, look at this. Point of view. You work at a sleepaway summer camp where the campers have no access to the internet, so this is how you break the news to them at 8 a.m. that Taylor Swift's new album's coming out. Look at this.
The Life of a Showgirl?
So the ladies of the summer camp are finding out in real time that Taylor Swift's new album's coming out. You can actually see a girl cheering with her own friendship bracelets out. Wild stuff indeed. All right, our good pal Katie from Without a Crystal Ball shared this. Taylor Swift's new album features Blake Lively diss track. Now, we shared this 2 days ago, but we didn't have it vetted. The track list. It was floating around. It was leaked. But there's several songs that might have to do with Blake Lively. Canceled, possibly that one. The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter, who, by the way, is friends with Justin Baldoni, maybe, or track number 6, Ruined the Friendship. We'll have to see. Some lyrics are popping out, but I did want to play what Taylor Swift had to say about Blake Lively. Now, you're not going to get, Taylor Swift's a behemoth. You're not going to get her to just flat out say, I've ghosted my friend Blake because she used me as one of her dragons in order to manipulate Justin Baldoni into giving her the final edit of the film. No, that's not going to happen. But what you are going to see is Taylor has moved on. And look, say what you want about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. They've certainly made a career for themselves. But there's something about athlete brothers. There's no lying in sports. The best man wins, right? And these brothers have made it professionally, and they haven't lost their roots. Taylor mentions the green flag that she found of Travis Kelce, which was that he has a lot of his friends since he was 4 years old. He has stood by his friends throughout their lifetime. She actually shares a fun story where there was a moment, the first time she went to see him play, where they actually walked through the normal gates. Now, again, this sounds like such a foolish thing. Everyone walks through the gates. Everyone's not Taylor Swift, right? So for her to walk through the gates, she ended up going with Travis's friends. She also said it's a green flag that Travis Kelce wasn't worried that Taylor would be with it. He was confident if she was with his guy friends. He trusts his friends. He trusts her, and I'm sure she's dated some of these guys. No offense out there, but some of these rocker guys, these emo dudes, they're putting eyeliner on. We all had our eyeliner phase. I get it. I understand. But it's like, Taylor's like, let me wear the sparkles, okay? She needs a little masculinity in her life, whatever. But it's non-toxic as non-toxic as a couple football player bros could be. me. I'm sure she has to deal with him saying, pull my finger. I'm sure there's moments of that, but hey, what can you do? So let's play this clip. It's several minutes long. I'll interject as I see fit. But here is Blake Lively possibly being spoken about by Taylor Swift. Is it about Blake? You guys let me know in the comment section.
Like, something can be about me. Like, my name can be in the actual headline and it can still be none of my business.
Okay.
Like, people can be out here. People might be out here doing too much.
Just shaking ass.
Doesn't mean I have to do a damn thing.
Yeah.
We live in such a social media moment where a lot of people's identities and they get their feedback from that, right? Like, and I'm a real constructive criticism guy. Like, give me constructive criticism all day. I will take it.
Coach me up.
It'll fuel
She's
me.
an athlete, dude.
It's helpful, right? But I have so many like friends or acquaintances or people where like they'll see one comment they don't like,
right,
and it will ruin their day. It'll ruin their night. Like, and I just want to say to them, like, you should think of your energy as if it's expensive, as if it's like a luxury item. Not everyone can afford it.
Yep.
Like, not everyone has invested in you in order to be able to have the capital for you to care about this.
Oh, I love it, right? The idea that people aren't entitled to your time. Taylor Swift goes on to talk about being off the DMs for the last 10 years and having over 20 million unread messages. Could you imagine 20 million unread? What a blissful life. It's like, if you can't find me, you don't find me. What a great level of fame to be at, right? Where you can't, I can't do that. I need business opportunities and stuff. But, whenever there's controversy, the first thing you should do is put your phone away, because they collectively, being the internet, aren't worth your time if they're going to be robbing from it in negative ways. And likewise, as Taylor says here, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't get all your value from them either. Be you. Because if Taylor wrecks herself because of the comments, she doesn't get to make 12 albums. She doesn't get to tour the world. And she's like a marathon runner at this point. She needs to be well fed and hydrated and take care of herself. We all do. We all do. We need to worry about the foods we consume, but we also need to worry about the content we consume. I hope I do a little bit of a decent job trying to lift people up and whatnot. I'd say avoid me if I was just making you feel negative energy. But we know that can happen. We can get stuck in that toxic cycle. I'm guilty of it too often, watching too much news. There's so much bad things out there, and you want to stay involved, but at the same time, you gotta create that orb around your own aura and protect it and keep your flame lit, right? So is this about Blake Lively? Now, Blake Lively, of course, is hell-bent on getting back at the people that she thinks are part of a smear campaign against her. So it makes perfect sense that Blake Lively has been ghosted by Taylor, as A, it was probably a lot of damage just dealing with Blake and the turbulence of all of the negativity, but B, Taylor Swift was used. Right? She was one of the dragons used as leverage. Taylor doesn't want someone who's going to use her. She wants someone who's going to, go the extra mile to profess their love, John Hughes style.
Right.
Because like what you spend your energy on, that's the day.
And it's so true.
Right? Like, it doesn't matter where you were. Like, maybe you went to go get coffee today. Maybe you saw friends today. If you were obsessing over one thing that you saw, like you literally like saw some guy call you mid, and you can't stop thinking about it.
No, he did not.
You can't stop thinking about it, dude. That's the day then. That's the night then. And so
what she's speaking about is rumination, right? The idea that we obsessively think of negative things. Our brain is wired to ruminate over and over about the same thought. And, the internet will pull that thought to the forefront, put gasoline on it, and it's like, just don't.
I've been able to sort of mediate a really healthy relationship with not seeing a whole lot.
To what you just said too, and social media expounds all of this, because everybody knows if they say one thing, but all of a sudden if they put Taylor Swift attached to it, it's going to get 1,000 more retweets and likes and hate comments or love comments or whatever. It's going to stir up tons of controversy.
Totally.
And I get this way all the time, where I just recently went into the facility with Cam Jurgens, and something was happening in the social media world that I was like, why are people upset at this person? This is bullshit, yada, yada. And Cam just hit me with are they really though? Or did just one person say something? Because I used to get the same way where I'd get upset. And then it took me like, actually, nobody really gives a shit about this.
Jason's early Twitter years? Oh, baby.
Yeah, and of course, Jason is a good example where he spiked that guy's phone, right? And it became this huge story, called the guy the F word, apologized for it. But it was a big story where Jason had to realize he's in the royal family now. So you gotta not give these people that energy. So again, practice it all you want, but it's a day-to-day approach where you dip into your DMs, you shop for pain, you're looking at Twitter before you get out of bed. You're going to get what you're looking for, and it's not always pretty. I wanted to share with you guys real quick the moment that they surprised Jason Kelce. He didn't know. I thought he was in on it. Jason Kelce didn't know that they were revealing the album. So watch the moment of surprise where he realizes jackpot because, Jason Kelce didn't make as much as Travis Kelce did. They're doing great. They're multimillionaires. But to have Taylor Swift on his podcast and announce the new album, this is insane. Have a listen.
A briefcase?
Yep.
Mint green with TS on it?
Yep.
What's in it?
Look at him.
This is my brand new album.
And by the way, there's a whole bunch of people cheering. Was there an audience watching this?
We got TS12, baby.
This is my brand new album.
And that's okay. So again, this whole episode is just a nice homage to Taylor Swift and the respect that she knows how big of a cultural moment it is. You think she doesn't know when she's performing in front of 100,000 people at some of these stadiums, selling them out multiple nights in a row, earthquakes happening because of the rumbling of fans, changing the gross domestic product of the town she performs in, governors and mayors begging Taylor, please perform in Des Moines, knowing it's going to, help the town out immensely. It's a wild time to be alive, and she'll be studied for years and years. And I think about this too. I think about Taylor Swift, and I think about how she writes all of her own music. And people say, oh, she's not that good of a singer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's the point. It doesn't matter if she's not the best singer. There was people she used to have beef with, the Katy Perrys. No offense to Katy Perry, she's not selling out anything. Her fan base wasn't that deep, and it makes you wonder, is it because Taylor Swift brought her true, authentic self by performing and bringing the vision together and being the creative force behind everything she does? Is that the reason people keep showing up, bringing their kids? It's spanning generations. Oh, you watch these TikToks of moms surprising their daughter with tickets. They go crazy. They're losing their mind. Gosh, I wish I had a daughter so I could do that. Taylor Swift, keep performing. I'm going to get a girl someday, and we're going to surprise her with tickets to your show, whatever the case may be. Either way, it's all good. It's fun. It's love. I'm happy for them. Again, Travis, don't fumble this one. All right, because you'll have an album written about you. Okay, that's it. We'll be back in the afternoon. You can check out our Patreon private-only live stream, patreon.com/Dave Neal, where you can be behind the scenes as we make the afternoon podcast. Otherwise, we'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.